sabotaged my promotion presentation in front of my entire company, and I couldn't be happier. I always thought women were doomed to love more than men until I met Daniel. Me and Daniel had been together for 7 years. He was every woman's dream guy. He kept his place super clean, never let me cook without doing the dishes for me, and even memorized my work schedule so he knew when to have dinner ready after late meetings. But he always tried to make things a competition. Like the day I got promoted to senior analyst, he immediately applied for management positions at rival firms. At the time, I thought it could be a good thing. I figured it just meant we always pushed each other to be better. Funny. Anyways, a few months ago I got selected to present our new AI integration strategy to the board of directors, including the CEO. Picture the junior employee who started in the mailroom 8 years ago, because up until recently, that was me. But now I had a career I was proud of, and in all honesty, ready to showcase. I told Daniel as soon as he got home. I remember wanting to practice my presentation together about how we'd nail every question they threw at me. Honey, I don't think you have much to present. I mean, it's not like you've really contributed that much to the project. For a second, I swear I thought he was pranking me. I reminded him that for one, I literally developed the entire integration framework. I'd spent 9 months building the algorithms from scratch. I think he realized he messed up because he immediately began backpedaling and saying that he just had a long day, that he'd be more than happy to help me practice. Well, I myself was extremely exhausted, so I just accepted his apology and marked the date for the presentation. I prepared meticulously for weeks. My slides, data visualizations, and speaking notes were all perfectly polished, and when the day came, I looked at myself in the mirror knowing I had earned this moment. I expected a "you'll do great" from Blake, or even something about my preparation would have been nice, but instead, he asked me if I could tone down my expertise so I don't make the male executives uncomfortable. I told him no, and he just rolled his eyes. Next thing I knew, he was pulling out his laptop and making mysterious phone calls. Then he just left. Well, I figured he had just gone to grab coffee, and I finished getting ready. For the first time ever, I understood what it means to feel like a true professional until I got to the office, because Blake was nowhere to be found. I tried texting and calling him for 30 minutes straight, but there was no response. I don't even know what I was thinking at this point, but either way, I headed to the boardroom, because by then, I wasn't even worried about Daniel. I was thinking about the presentation, my career-defining moment, the project that would prove I belonged in tech despite everyone who said I didn't have the technical background. The familiar determination I felt throughout my entire career steeled my nerves, and I walked into that building ready to dominate. But when I walked in, the first person I saw wasn't the CEO. It was Daniel. I caught him halfway through a conversation with the board members about concerns he had about my project's security vulnerabilities and how I'd overlooked critical flaws. And even when he saw me, he kept the conversation going. He only stopped when the CEO asked him to sit down. I immediately tried to start my presentation, but the damage was done. Every slide I showed, Blake would interrupt with a question that was really just him undermining my work. When I explained the cost savings, he'd mention hidden expenses I hadn't considered. When I showed the efficiency metrics, he'd bring up potential system failures. That's when my body froze, because he had pulled out his own laptop and was projecting emails. Fake emails he'd created showing me admitting to data manipulation and cutting corners on security protocols. The board members were whispering, looking at me with suspicion. For a moment, I was destroyed. This is the nightmare every ambitious woman fears. The moment their own partner sabotages their success out of jealousy. But before I could crumble, the CTO spoke up. Mr. Richardson, these emails are interesting, but I'm curious. Why do they all have metadata showing they were created yesterday at 11:47 p.m.? And why do they reference a server architecture we discontinued 3 years ago? My heart raced. I saw panic flash in Daniel's eyes before he started stammering about technical errors. But the CTO wasn't done. She pulled up the real email chains, the ones where I'd meticulously documented every decision, every security measure, every test result. Also fascinating that you claim to have these concerns when our security team, who Ms. Sarah worked directly with, signed off on every protocol. In fact, they called it the most comprehensive integration they'd ever seen. I wanted to disappear, but then something beautiful happened. The CEO stood up and asked Daniel to leave immediately, mentioning something about corporate espionage charges. My eyes locked with Daniel's, and even as his were filled with shock, mine were filled with relief. By instinct, I turned back to my presentation. I just wanted to move forward. The board apologized profusely and asked me to continue, so I did what I always do. I delivered the best damn presentation of my life, because I knew there was only one way to win, only one force in my favor, and that was the truth always comes out in the data. I couldn't tell you what happened to Daniel after security escorted him out in this short. The full video is on my channel and linked below.